Hello guys, my name is Melchion, and in this tutorial I'm going to teach you how to make a very simple and minimal forum-like application where users will be able to post messages under their own name, and it's going to be pretty simple. This tutorial is aimed to beginners to help them understand the basics of networking and server stuff. And yeah, we are not going to use React or any framework or anything like that, or even localhost. We are going to simply make the application a script for the server called backend, so the server handles all requests and get it running on the web in less than half an hour. By the end of this video, you will have basically a website already available to the users, although you should polish it a bit. And yeah, let's get started. So without further ado, let's start this quickly by making two folders. Front end and another one called backend. In the front end folder, we are going to place how can I explain this? The interface, basically what the user sees, the HTML and the CSS and JavaScript. And in the backend, we are going to place a Python script that will be basically what the server runs and will handle the user requests to post things and that. Let's start with the front end first because it's easier. And we are going to make two files. Index.html, all in lowercase, please do not load this. And styles.css. That's it. We are going to open this with your favorite code editor, or in my case it's Visual Studio Code. And this is what we have. I'm going to build a basic skeleton for the website first. HTML. Also, excuse my bad English, I'm not a native speaker. For now, copy my code. If you don't understand, I'll explain the most important parts later. So for beginners, this is basically the HTML basic code. This is not doing anything yet, but to put it in short, this is the title of the application that will appear at the top of the tab. This is to support more characters, and this is to load the style sheet file so we can keep colors and everything to the site. So let's also do the CSS with the asterisk indicating that this is going to apply to all. We reset the margin, the padding, text decoration, nice style. And for the font, we are going to use the default sans serif font the user has in the browser. Oh, and also headings. Because if we test this sample hello world, this is kinda ugly because there's not much margin, so we are going to add heading, which is going to basically add 10 pixels of width and height that do not apply, but they are like a margin. So well, we are also going to add a display property toggle of flex and flex direction of column. What this is going to do is make the elements appear from top to the bottom, so they don't appear left or right, no, top to bottom, so it's easier. And we start with a text area. This is where the user is going to type their messages. So, yeah, you get it. A button. The button will have as text post. So when the user types something, like clicking post, it will send the message to the server and will appear below. And a div. A div is like a container. The div is going to contain the messages. We also give it a class. For example, what name could it have? Message box. Yeah. Now we have to give an ID to everything, which is going to be like a tag or name we can refer to in JavaScript. It will later make sense. For the text area, I'm going to put user input. For the button, post button. And for the message box, yeah, the best name ever. And we are also going to design the message. For now, simply copy everything I'm doing. It's not big of a deal yet. I don't like uppercases. Content. Yeah, so I'm also going to make the body background a little darker because the message are going to be white and the background needs to be darker to have a contrast. Oops. Make sure to put a dot at the beginning of classes because this is not an HTML element, but actually this a class. Width 10% so it occupies everything. Background color white, which is, you can also do this if you want. It's easier. Margin of 10 pixels, maybe. Actually, we are going to apply only vertical margin. Padding of 10 pixels too. Although I see a problem, and that is this is not having a margin here. And I know why it's happening. It's because of this. The padding is making trouble with the width, so we are going to do. Oops, wait, this is what. Yeah, perfect. For the display, we are going to do the same we did as the body. Display type flex, which is the easiest type of display that can ever exist. And flex direction of column, so the elements appear one above another. And what else? We are going to uh, place classes to the tags. For example, the username is going to have a class of username label and the content label. So we can refer to it username label and make the username smaller. Want to wait and well, this only applies before. Never mind. We are only going to make it smaller, maybe a little more, and make it gray. Oops, no, color. Background color is going to be the background, not text. Perfect. And also a little bit of margin so it does not look as shit as it is currently. Not too much. And if we test it on a web browser like Microsoft Edge, we see this interface looks absolutely horrible. So I'm going to do a quick technique to make it better. This is not a very good technique, but if we adjust the padding of the body, we get some kind of margins. This can work. And yeah, let's get to coding. Script. To use JavaScript on the document, we declare variables with let, and we are going to make a variable for each element of the document. In this case, the text area, the post button, and the message box where all the message will appear. So we first declare the text area, which is actually user input. To refer to the text area, we use document.getElement by ID, and this is going to search the little mistake. This is going to search a tag with the ID you put in here. In this case, we want to refer to the text area, which has an ID of user input. So logically, we place a user input. Same with the other elements. Post button equals document.getElement by ID. Again, excuse my shitty English for the text box. Sorry, message box. The same history of always. Document.getElement by ID. Message box. Perfect. We are going to make a function which is used to, it's like a Scratch custom block, basically. It's to make your life easier. If you are going to repeat a code multiple times, you will want to make it a function to make it easier. We're going to call it add message. This is not going to post messages, but actually add message boxes first. We will do the server thing later. For add message, we will place an argument. Arguments are variables that are defined here of message. And now we are going to refer to the message box. We use inner HTML, which is a property to get the inside of the element. In this case, by doing this, we are referring to the inside of the, well, no, not this, the inside of the message box. So by also doing this, we can add content to the message box. In this case, the function is going to add messages. So if we cut the code and place it here, this, we can now execute the function, and each time we execute it, as you can see, messages appears. We can use this to get all the messages from the server, and for each one, place a function, and it will add it to the message box. However, we need to customize this. So we are going to remove this username and replace it by $. this weird symbol I don't know the name of, and message dot author. Yeah. And for the content, a similar thing, message dot content. Now, if we make a variable, let message equals list, and we put author, two dots, text, and content, two dots, content, text, and we place the function add message with our variable message. We can see the function is picking up the data from the variable. In this case, the author field is test, so it places it here. And the content is content test, so it places it here. So this is working as we are expecting it. Now we are going to move to the server side, because this is not going to work without a server and a database. So before doing this, we first need the server in the fixed place. So we are going to need a hosting provider. I recommend Alwaysdata. It's my favorite one. And register. I'm going to do the exact process you are going to do if you want to follow the tutorial. You will have to put your email and password. And you will have to verify your email too. It needs a real email. You can put a fake one. Mm, name it's going to be on tutorial test. Sorry. Can I use tutorial or is it tech? Well, tutorial wasn't taken. Yeah, it's going to make a tutorial when you first use it. So when we go to sites, okay, click web and sites, you are going to have something like this. We need two sites, not one. So the first site is going to be the front-end aspect of the application, the user pages. And the second site is going to be the actual server. So we are going to add the server because it does not come by default by clicking install an application. Here we're going to go to Python and we select Flask. In addresses, note that you need to pick this address. We're going to keep it, for example, this one. Happy refers to a backend in all situations. And installation directory. Do not leave it like this. You have to put a different value. Not this because this is taken by the already existing frontend. So I'm going to put, for example, backend and accept the conditions. Submit. And we have two sites now. The frontend, which is is what the user sees. And the backend, which is not going to work, but it actually works. But this is not a user interface because this is supposed to be the application programming interface we are going to use in here. But this is not going to be accessed by the user. The user will access the normal one. Now we are going to work on the backend side of the server, the server side. So this is going to be made in Python instead of JavaScript for simplicity. So let's open a new terminal. If you are using a different code editor, you can use the command prompt, cmd, and execute the same commands on this. So, well, pip install Flask. You put this, and you also put it installed by MySQL. So we have to include it two libraries, Flask and by MySQL. So in the code, you put these commands: import Flask. From Flask, import Flask put with an uppercase letter in the fixed, and request, which is going to be used later to get data from all requests, and import by MySQL. We're going to find a function called get database connection, which is going to be basically the thing that allows us to connect to our database. Return MySQL.connect. Now, here's the cool thing. We have to set up our database. For this, we have to go to this section of Alwaysdata, databases. We click MySQL, which is the easiest of the three to use. And we add a database here, using this button. The database is going to be called, for example, tutorial underscore forum, which will service our rights. Yeah, it's creating. Now for the users, we are going to make a user for ourselves. I'm going to name it like this, and you put here your personal password if you want. Just leave it as it is. And we make another user. This is going to be for the code, for the program, to access the database. So we are going to leave it tutorial underscore backend. And password use for sure. We are going to put tutorial password to form. You should put a more secure password than this. This is pure shit or bullshit. Do not use something like this if you are going to do something serious. So submit. And we are now going to this link that says php which is a little interface you have to log in with the credentials of the user you have just created. In this case, autocomplete goes the job for me. So yeah. And wait for it to load. It usually lags a lot. So yeah. I have been testing around before, so I'm going to make a new database for show. So yeah, it just got a huge lag spike, but we are back. We are back. Click on the database, and it will ask you to make a table, which is like a file that contains information. In this case, I'm going to name it posts. A number of columns. You should usually put more, but for the tutorial, I'm going to put 3. This can be changed later, don't worry. And we are going to make a column called ID, type integer, so it's a number, and we click this checkbox that says AI, and this is not artificial intelligence, rather auto increment, which is going to auto increment basically makes the number increase automatically without you having to do anything. So, and the other columns are going to be type text, one called author and the other content. We save, yeah, save it, and we have our table ready. Now we go to this. On remote access, you want to go to SSH and we add an SSH user. The process of doing this is the same as MySQL, so yeah, I'm not going to explain it. Yeah. This is to access like a command prompt based on the browser, on the server. So you put your credentials in here. And now we are going to make a FTP account. So user, not account. This is so we can remotely access the server. The name is going to be tutorial FTP. The password, your personal password if you want. Server is not going to use this, so no account for server. And I'm going to do this using an application called WinSCP. You can download it here if you want. On this site. It's very good. So yeah, it will ask you to choose a protocol. So choose FTP. Use this type of cipher. The port leave it as it is 997. And the name of the server is this one. Without the space. For the user, you put the user you have entered. Sorry. For password, the password you have entered like two. And yeah, we are in the files of our server, but we can edit things. So you have to drag the file we created before init.py to here, to backend. What the fuck? Why does it say 0? Oh yeah, we have to save it. After we have logged into the server folders, you should see a folder called www, another folder called admin, and the folder you have entered for your backend. On my case, I have named it backend, so it's backend literally. And after knowing this, we're going to go back to this, to the command prompt there, and we do this command, cd backend. If your folder was named another thing like server, then you do cd server. Mine is one. Once you have done that, you have to execute this south end slash bin. Forward. Yeah, my bad. It's actually source m slash bin slash activity. Now you do this pip installed by MySQL. So it installs the required module. In my case, it's already installed because I was messing around before. So yeah, we can continue coding after this. Now that we have the required information, we go back to the MySQL tab to have the information here, and we copy this. Oops. Host equals double quotes the address that says in this place. Port, you want to put 3306. Oh, actually, I forgot the comments. It's important. Database. The database is supposed to be the thing you created before. In my case, it's tutorial form. So we place here tutorial with double quotes tutorial underscore form. user. You place the user for your database. So, I mean server. In my case, it's tutorial underscore backend. So tutorial underscore backend. Password. Now for the password storage, I don't recommend placing it in the code because if you lend the code to some of your friends, they can see the password and fuck everything up. So we are going to do this. Import OS. And we are going to list it here. OS into environment.get password. Actually, DB password. It's going to hit the password from the database. So I mean local variables. To actually get the password, we have now to declare the local variable by going to set string here, and where it says environment variables, you place db password equals to the password you have entered before. In my case, it's the password 1234, and we now make the Flask application. Equals app equals Flask with an uppercase name, and here we place app.run. Between these lines is where we are going to place the routers. Routers are going to be like redirections from the AP. So for example, if I want to make the address test to display hello world, as seen in this example, we will have to declare a route, which is done this way. App.route test with a slash, starting always with a slash, methods get define test return hello world. This should make that when you go to the address test, it's going to return hello world. It's a little different from here, so if it works correctly, it should return hello world with uppercases in the first letter. So to update the server code, we have to go to WinSCP and drag the code we had before to here, so it updates. After this, we have to go to the Alwaysdata dashboard on sites and click this icon, which is for restarting the server. Every time you do a change, you have to click the restart icon. If you don't, it doesn't apply. And it's taking longer than usual. Let me see if it failed. Oh, actually, you have to also put this if name equals to underscore main app.run. I forgot this. It's a good practice, so we do this. We drag again, and since this is another update, we also restart it. Yeah, it showed hello world from before, so we can confirm that this has worked. Now for the fun part. Actually, saving messages. We create another route. It's going to be called post with the HTTP method of post. We define post message. Also, I feel I have to explain this use in case, but for the routes, you don't want to use anything else that head and post. When the route is going to be used to get information, you use head. And when it is used to post information, you use post. In the future, if you want to do something like register or login, it's going to be post. For anything else, head. Post. Define post message request. Yeah, exactly this. And data equals to request head station. And author equals to detail dot head author, and content the same thing, but with content. With HTTP connection as connection shortened to con, with connection dot cursor as cursor dot execute. Means you have to put also 6 symbols of this. Insert into posts parentheses, and what it was, yeah. On here you have to put the names of your columns, which I forgot already. I don't have very good memory. It was author and content. Author, content. Values, percentages is, and percentage is. This is for, wait, a comma, I forgot. This is to prevent SQL injection, because by using this parameter, you can do this, place a comma here and another parenthesis, and place the variables you want in here. Author, content. And this will avoid the vulnerability of SQL injection. It's better for security, and a good practice to do it is you should never do something like this. If you do this and I find out, I'm going to come to your house and kill you. So don't do it. Always use parameters like this. And if in case you have a column more, for example, timestamp, if you actually added it, you add another parameter and another variable in here, timestamp. We don't have this, so I'm going to remove it. So, and yeah, after having this done, we do con.commit. So the change actually happens. And we also have to return something to the user. In this case, it can be anything, but for simplicity, I'm going to place success. We go back to WinSCP to upload our changes, and we have the file to the folder. We now go back to the Alwaysdata dashboard and restart. Now to test this, I'm going to use an application called Postman. And Postman you can use it online, in fact. So by searching on Google or Bing Postman, it's going to appear here, and you just have to download it or log in, whatever you want. And in its interface, we are going to put, or this is for testing. You can skip it if you want. And API/post. In this case, yeah, I place it post. So for body, this is already complete because I was missing a for, and if we send it, there's an error. What is the see the logs? You click on the paper right away. Post message missing one repeated position argument request. Then what I'm gonna do is get rid of it and call it a day. Let's suppose this again. reset. If we try to do it again in Postman, it's a success. If we go to php.myadmin and post, we can see the content I have entered from Postman has successfully gone through the backend program, and the backend program has added it to our database or table successfully. Now we just need something to retrieve the messages. So, and it upload, so this upload route, and this is get messages methods get the file get messages. We don't need data here, obviously. With head database connection as con with con dot cursor as cursor execute select asterisk, so it selects everything, all columns from posts. And to prevent someone overloading your server, you want to add a limit. This is optional, by the way. So I want to place a limit of 100 messages. You don't need this. You can just put this if you want. Put there's the risk of spammers to break your server. And yeah, this does not require arguments actually. So result equals to cursor.fetch one. No, fetch all. And with this done, we return some. Actually, we have to import this. On the second line, you want to import Sonify. Sonify result. So let's see what we got after adding this route. We again drag and drop the file unit.py into this. And in the Alwaysdata dashboard, restart your backend. Since this is a GET request, you can test it on your browser. All GET requests can be tested on your browser with the post ones by Postman or a command, whatever. So we place get messages. It works. It works. Although it is not JSON, which is going to be a problem. To actually make it return JSON, you have to get rid of this line and instead place this. This line is going to get the columns in the cursor, so it gets the each one. And the second one is going to actually create a JSON object so it's easier for the front end to handle it. So yeah, we save it, copy it if you want, and we update it. We reset this and waiting for it to load. Yeah, it now works. Now that we have our backend done because the backend is finished, we now just have to finish the frontend. We go to the frontend and we open it with Visual Studio Code. So in our frontend code, we are going to place a new function to finally finish this tutorial, which is going to be asynchronous function. Fetch messages, and it's going to have a variable that fetches the message from the server. So we want to access the route we did before. which was head message, if you remember correctly, and const result response JSON const messages was to result dot yeah, we say, and messages for each. We remove this, and in element place instead message, add message, and we also place the function inside the DOM content loaded event, so it gets executed automatically when the document loads. Document.add listener DOM content loaded function, and in the function we place fetch messages. Oh, sorry, I made a typo. If you notice, I forgot one S like that. It won't have affected anything but then aesthetics. Yeah. We now direct this to our www folder, which is this one for the frontend. It will have a default index.html. You can delete it or replace it or overwrite or whatever. And now that it has been changed, it's the moment of truth. It's not working. Oh my God. Expose.json is not a function.
2 hours later.
So yeah, after a bit of troubleshooting, I think I got it. So yeah. Basically, I forgot the await condition here and here. And this line is not needed at all. We should do this directly. Response.h. Why? Because the series are really returning this as an array, so we don't need the line. After saving, if we try to do it again, it should work. Yeah. So you can see it's appearing. But now we just need to post messages. This is not enough. We can read messages, but we cannot post them. So what we are going to do, since making an account system might be too complex and a subject for another video, we're going to temporarily put this line. I'm going to type it again. Input type text. Yeah. And ID username. Placeholder and version. So the user can type their username in this, and it will appear as author whatever they type in here. So basically, whatever the user types here is going to be the temporary username. It will appear in the author field. So yeah. After having this, we also need to define it like this. Let user input equals document dot head element by ID. See. So yeah, we have this to post messages. Would we also want? So yeah, we have this to read messages, but we also want to post them. So to do this, since we don't have an account system, we need to make first a temporal solution, which will be to ask the user for a name. So we're going to place here a small text box, input type text, placeholder, enter username, and ID username box. Now we're going to define it in here. Let username input equals to document dot get element by ID username input, and we make a new function, a synchronous function, post message, and also content. And in here we are going to place a new variable called body. It's going to be the body of our request for them. Also equals to also content equals to content. Oops, so without the quotes. Yeah. And fetch. We fetch this time again, but with a variable like this. Well, we have to place a wait, otherwise it might hit problems. So https tutorial.alwaysdata.net/id/post. And now for the information. Method and then post. Because we are posting information. What? Oh yeah, forgot. Headers. We are going to place here headers to indicate we are sending JSON. So content type JSON slash application slash JSON. Yeah, this one. And body, for body, we are going to put JSON dot stringify, and we place our body variable in here like this, exactly like this. After we post a message, we should reload the window, so we place here window.location.reload. So the page reloads and we see the new message being added. After that, we now need to actually be able to post it because the function is done, but we have to program the button. So yeah, the button is the post button. So post button dot add event list. Click and choose. And in here, we're going to declare two variables. Const username equals to username input.value, and const content equals to user input.value. So this is going to be the text area, and this the username input or name. Below we place post message username content. Just like this. And this should be done. If we place the document with a new code here and we reload the page, we can see we have enter username. I think to place the message. For example, if my username is Nelson, hello world. An error has occurred. True. Username. Oh, oh, yeah. I have placed the wrong identification. Sorry. Username box is a username box. This is more of a matter of how you have everything set up. But yeah, and minor error. Minor stupid error. Mention and yeah, as you can see, we have successfully finished the tutorial because our messages are being sent. Now, further improvements that could be made should be, for example, preventing this. Like now, we can post messages with an author. In fact, it's so easy to fix. We can fix it right now by just doing this. If content was well, actually content equals nothing, alert. Oh wait, username, not content. You need to have a username to post. If content equals nothing, alert, you need to place type something to post. And we return to prevent the next code from executing. So yeah. Now we can no longer post without filling all fields.